In this video we're going to be replacing the fill valve in this toilet tank. We're going to be replacing it with this Korky fill valve. That's made in the USA. They run about $10 at your local big box store. And this is the model, it's 528X. This is one of the more kind of universal ones that fits a large variety of toilet tanks. I'm going to give you a couple tips along the way. Hopefully make your job of replacing your fill valve a little easier and leak free. So let's get started. First thing we need to do is cut off the water supply to the toilet tank. Now here's a tip for you. If your shutoff valve is plastic here on the end, it means it's one of the cheaper shutoff valves. And if it's more than 5 years old, it's probably going to leak starting from the bottom of this if you shut it off and turn it back on. And if you see any calcium build up around here, I definitely don't shut the water off here. I would trace the water line down to the basement and find a newer shutoff valve or maybe a lever shutoff valve. But if this is plastic, 9 times out of 10 they're going to start to leak after you shut them off and turn them back on. This one being all metal, I'm safe to turn it off. I know that it's a newer style because it's only a quarter turn valve. The older ones you need to turn them a couple times to shut it off, and they almost always leak when you turn them back on. So once you have the water shut off, you're going to want to flush your toilet probably about 3 times to drain all the water out of the tank. So once you flush your toilet 2-3 times, you got as much water out of the tank as you can. We're going to need a small bucket to place underneath the outside of the tank, underneath the fill valve. Once you have a bucket underneath your fill valve, go ahead and unscrew your supply line. And now we're going to go ahead and unscrew the actual fill valve. Once your fill valve is unscrewed from underneath the tank, go ahead and remove it from that fill tube. And now you can lift it straight out. And that's why you put a bucket underneath your toilet tank hole. So go ahead and take your fill valve out of the package. And the first thing you're going to do is install this hose. It's going to install right there. But you're going to want to warm this end up either under hot water or with a hair dryer. Don't try to push it on here cold without heating it up. You're probably going to crack this housing. So run the end of this tube under really hot water for just a few minutes. Or just give it a little warm up with a hair dryer and then push it on. Once you have that done, you're going to turn and pull straight down to extend your fill valve. And then we're going to stick it in the tank and you're going to line up this edge right here with the top of the flush valve. All you do is fit your fill valve in there like this, and then you want the top of this housing to line up with the top of your flush valve. So you're looking at the top of this right here, not up here, not this water level. Right here should be equal to the height of the top of your flush valve. Now you can eyeball it and you're going to get close enough, or use a tape measure to go from the bottom of the tank to the top of here, and then you can measure up over here. So once you figure that out, go ahead and remove your fill valve. So once you remove your fill valve, you're going to rotate this clockwise, and that's going to lock in place. And you'll notice these tabs here are going to line up with this line. Just rotate clockwise, locks it in place. Now we're going to drop it back down into the tank. Take your cap, screw it on tight, and before you tighten it, make sure this is rotated so that this hose goes right into your flush valve. Now it's important to note when you screw down that flush valve, this is going up to your tank. So your tank bottom is right here, screws on this way. If you just take a look at it and you don't notice this, it also says this side up right there. You would probably normally screw this on with this flat up to the tank, but it actually screws on this way. The beveled side should be meeting the tank. Once you got your fill valve installed, you can install one of the supplied clips. It comes with 3 different clips to get your fill lined up with your flush valve. And then this is the metal clip that I used. And then you can't quite see it, but there's a CL on here, which is called critical line. You want to make sure that that line is 1 inch above the top of your flush valve. And turn back on your shutoff valve. Just turn it on kind of slow, a little bit at a time, and we're just going to check for leaks. So right now just be kind of looking around, see if there's any leaks anywhere. And once the tank is filled up, we're going to go ahead and flush the toilet twice, and then we're going to check the fill rate. Fill rate, I mean you want your tank to fill at the same time your bowl is full. You don't want your bowl to fill and then your tank to keep filling. I'm going to show you how to do it, but you want them both to fill and shut off at the same time. So after you flushed your toilet twice, take a pencil, put a little mark inside your toilet at the top of the water level. And now what we want to do, we're going to flush it again, and we want the tank to fill the same time the bowl does, or the bowl to fill the same time tank does. Because if you're filling too fast, it's just running out of your bowl, you're just wasting water. So we'll flush it and see where we're at. So just to show you how to adjust your flow rate, it's this little knob right here. Right now it's fully open, and if you want to back off the fill of the bowl, you're going to turn this counterclockwise. So since I turned it counterclockwise, it's slowing down the rate of the fill of the bowl. I'm going to go ahead and turn it more counterclockwise so you guys can see how you decrease the flow. See how now it's barely trickling? Now it's wide open. You back it off a little bit. Now that's how you adjust the bowl to the tank fill. So right now you want to look at your pencil line in the bowl. So there's my pencil line in the bowl, the top of the water level. I want this to hit that pencil line at the same time my fill shuts off at the tank. So you just keep turning that knob, backing it off or giving it more, and then you may have to flush just one more time to check it, but that's how you adjust your flow. After you got that adjusted, go ahead and put your tank lid back on, and this project is done. You guys found this video informative, and I thank you for watching.